Okay, good morning students. Today we discuss very short questions, 2 marks questions from first chapter, all 2 marks questions. First of all, Ragnar Fish, one of the famous economists, basis on the scope and importance of the economics divided into 2 categories, microeconomics and macroeconomics. Microeconomics. Micro, which means small. The term derived from the Greek word micros and which means small. All individual aspects about individual person's income, expenditure and total output of individual aspects only we know from the study of microeconomics. Next, macroeconomics. Macroeconomics means, which means large. This word derived from the Greek language macros and mostly James Keynes. Macroeconomics. James Keynes mostly popularized the macroeconomics aspect. Actually, microeconomics popularized by Alfred Marshall and James Keynes given importance to macroeconomics. So these are 2 terms. Next question and about free goods and economic goods. Third question, free goods. Economic goods. Free goods means here freely we are getting by the nature without any cost, need not to pay any cost, we are getting freely by the nature. These goods are known as free goods. The goods supply always more than demand. These free goods supply is more than demand, so need not to pay any cost and no production cost. That's why these goods are not included in national income. While calculate the national income, the free goods are not calculated. Next, about economic goods. Economic goods means man-made goods and with the help of land, labor, capital, organization, producer producing the different variable goods and services. All goods we are paying some amount of the money by these economic goods. So these goods are known as man-made goods. And to buy this service of these goods we are paying some amount of money, means here economic goods have production cost. So these goods are always supply is less and demand is more, and these goods also have production cost. That's why these goods calculated in national income. This is about free goods and economic goods. Basis on production goods divided into 3 types: consumer goods, capital goods, intermediary goods. Okay, first we discuss about consumer goods. Consumer means here which goods are ready to consume, or ready-made goods known as consumer goods. We directly use these goods to satisfy our needs and wants. That goods are known as consumer goods. milk, fruits and food items, etc., etc. Next, capital goods are producer goods. Capital goods are producer goods. These goods are used in production activity. These goods which are indirectly satisfy the human wants and needs. So these goods are known as capital goods or secondary goods or producer goods. Capital goods or secondary goods are producer goods. For example, land, buildings and machinery, technology, etc. Example for the capital goods are producer goods. And these goods are also known as secondary goods. Then we discuss intermediary goods. Intermediary goods means which goods are under the production activity. These goods are under the production activity. Semi-finished, unfinished goods are known as intermediary goods. Semi-finished or unfinished goods are known as intermediary goods. So here is the bricks, cement, etc., etc. Example for the intermediary goods. Basis on production, goods are divided into consumer goods, capital or producer goods. Then third one, intermediary goods. This is about goods. Next we discuss about positive economics and normative economics. And positive science, Professor J.M. Keynes, positive science may be defined as a body of systemized knowledge concern what is. Means total surrounding aspects. The positive science defines us. Okay, the first one is the positive science. Second one, normative economics. Positive science or normative science. Positive economics and normative economics. First we discuss positive economics. And positive economics means J.M. Keynes positive science may be defined as a body of systemized knowledge concerning what is. Mostly classical economist and classical economist popularized this positive science. Nobody have right to question the rightness or wrongness of this positive science. Means economic principles and laws. This is about positive economics. Next, normative economics. Normative economic science may be defined as body of systemized knowledge relating to what ought to be. Okay, and German physiologists mostly popularized this normative science, and this normative science especially defined as the difference between the disguised between the actuals and ideas. Okay, actual and ideas. So this is about normative economics. Okay, positive science and normative science. And then we discuss about value concept. Value concept. Here the value of any good or service is the power to command other article or service. Okay, this value is two types, value in use and value in exchange. Here value in use and value in exchange. First we discuss about value in use. The value in is the capacity of the satisfying human wants and needs is known as value in use. Which article we are consuming, we are getting some level of satisfaction. So the consumption of goods and services we are getting satisfaction, that is the value in use. All free goods have value in use. And next to value in exchange. Value in exchange means the purchasing power of the one commodity to another commodity is called exchange value. Here the purchasing power of the one commodity to another commodity to known is value in exchange. So all economic goods, all valuable goods have value in use as well as value in exchange. This is about value. These two types, value in use and value in exchange. Next we discuss income concept. Income concept. Okay, income means here is the value of any good or service is the power to command the other article. So here to earn the income, income is a flow from wealth. Actually here is the income is one of the flow from wealth, where the wealth is the stock of assets. In every economy, income flows from household to firms and firms to households. Here to earn income, households depend always on firm to buy the different goods and services. With the help of land, labor, capital, all firms produces the different variable goods and they supply to the households. That households paying some amount of money to buy the different goods and services from the firms. And these income is the households expenditure is the income for firms. And with the help of this obtained income, firms produces the different goods and services with the help of productive factors, land, labor, capital and organization. They supply the goods to households. This is the circular flow. Means here income always flow from household to firms and firms to household. This is about income concept. Okay. Income means here is the income always flow of the wealth, whereas wealth is a stock. In every economy, income flows from firms to household and households to firm. This is the system. And next we discuss about the fundamental problems of economy. What are the fundamental problems? First major fundamental problem is day to day the population is increasing in the economy. So for this rapid growth of population, additional requirements we need. So all production activities, manufacturing activities needs to produce more goods for more population. So in any economy, first fundamental 6 problems. The first problem is the which type of goods are produced and which quantity. First, what type of goods to produce and what quantity. In production activity, first fundamental problem is what type of goods to produce and what quantity. What type of goods produce for economy and what quantity is the first fundamental problem. And second problem is how to produce these goods for economy. How to produce, whether use capital intensive method or labor intensive method. In production activity, while produce the goods and services, 2 methods are very important. First one is the capital intensive method, and second one is the labor intensive method. The first capital intensive method, with the help of machinery technology, the produces the different variable goods, is known as the capital intensive method. With the help of labor, mental and physical skills, is known as the labor intensive method. Any productive activity always bases on to produce the goods and services. They completely depend on the labor intensive method or capital intensive method. These methods are two important things. This is the second problem of economy. How to produce? How to produce? And third problem is for whom to produce? Whom to produce? Means here in economy, different economic level people are living. Rich people, middle income people and poor people. They are using different variable goods based on their social status, based on their economic position. They use different level of goods. So for whom to produce? For rich people or poor people or middle income people. Which type of goods for whom to produce is the third problem in the economy. And next one is the fourth question is the what? How to efficiently use the productive resource. Productive resource means here is the different to produce the goods. Always resources are very important. Natural resource and man-made resource. Population is increasing day to day. So my resources are always constant. So how to use profitably, efficiently, without any waste? So this is the fourth fundamental problem, is how to use resource efficiently. How to use resource efficiently, the fourth fundamental problem of economy. And fifth one is the whether available resources are fully utilized or not. Different type of resources are allocated in different places. And in production activity, whether these resources are profitably and completely utilized or not. This is main important aspect. Then sixth problem is economy growing or static? Economy is always dynamic. But based on this dynamic situation, the production activity growing or not over a period of time. These are the six fundamental problems. First one is the what type of goods to produce and what quantity, and how to produce. Second question. And third one is for whom to produce. And fourth fundamental problem is how efficiently productive resources are used. How efficiently productive resources are used. And next, fifth one is the whether these available resources are utilized fully or not. Next, the sixth question is the economy growing or static over a period of time. These are the six fundamental problems of economy and production activity. Then next we discuss utility. And utility means for our needs and wants satisfaction purpose, we are consuming different type of goods and services. Different type of goods and services. The want satisfying capacity of commodity at a point of time is known as utility. Means here goods and services have capacity to satisfy the human wants. this capacity is known as utility. It is completely subjective concept. Why? Because this we can't measure it objectively. Utility means the person can judge. For example, a cup of ice cream give more utility for one person. The same cup of ice cream give less utility for another person. So, person only can judge how much satisfaction he gain from the consumption of different goods and services. Utility is the completely subjective concept. We can't measure it objectively. Okay, we can't measure it quantitatively. Okay, next one is the price. Price means here is the value of commodity or service when we express it in terms of money. The terms of money, the goods and services value when we express it in terms of money is known as price. For example, one commodity, this pen value is 10 rupees. The cost of pen is 10 rupees. Here we are different type of goods and services we are purchasing. While we purchasing, the value of goods and services we are converting into the monetary terms, then we purchasing in the form of money. So is known as price. Okay, these are the total 2 marks questions from first chapter. Total 2 marks questions from first chapter. Okay, tomorrow class we discuss another topic. Thank you.